Our guest today left her job as a corporate financial analyst to pursue her passion in aesthetics. She came to Utopia, opened a suite, began her business, and she's only a month in. Welcome to Sweet Independence, the podcast for beauty professionals ready to build the business of their dreams. I'm Kristen Kinzel, founder of Utopia Modern Salon Suites. With 34 years in this industry, I've seen firsthand the power of independence and community. We'll ditch the stress, unlock your potential, and give you the clarity and confidence to thrive. Get ready to transform your career and build the fulfilling life you deserve. Your flourishing future starts now. Welcome to our Cranbrook location. Today we are here with Savannah Tasset. She is the owner of Serenity Skin Studio. She does aesthetics here, and welcome.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here. Thanks for having me.
Thanks. Tell us about yourself. You have a great story about how you got started and what got you here, but let's start with how you got started as an esthetician.
Yeah, I have kind of a crazy story. So it was actually in high school, I decided that I wanted to go into aesthetics. So I graduated high school a year early and went ahead and moved to Manhattan, Kansas for aesthetics school there. Kind of my long-term plan originally was to go to K-State. And so it ended up working out that I was in Manhattan for school there. And so it was kind of back and forth on if it was a good idea for me to do that instead of going to traditional university, but I went ahead and took the leap with doing that first. And so I was only 17 when I ended up moving out and doing that and starting it on my own.
What were you going to study at K-State if you weren't doing aesthetics?
Yeah, so originally I was going to do chemical engineering, which is what my dad does. And so I kind of always felt led down that path, mostly because of him and just being fairly gifted in math. And so I ended up majoring in finance at K-State, kind of for that reason.
Very different from esthetician school.
Very different, yeah. So I grew up, really enjoying math and everything. And so that was part of why I chose it. But really my end goal with aesthetics originally was to have my own spa. And so that kind of was another decision with going into business at K-State is, I can learn how to have my own business and get some accounting experience and just information to help me with my business and doing that.
That's really smart. I wish I had that backstory.
Yeah.
That'll be very beneficial someday.
It is now.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's been really good. But I ended up going to K-State in my last month of doing aesthetics school. So I did both for a little while as I finished aesthetics up, which was a lot. But yeah, I was glad I ended up doing finance at K-State as well. Kind of my mindset with that was, well, I'll have this to fall back on in case I decide I don't want to do aesthetics one day. But I ended up kind of feeling the pressure to go down the finance path as I continued my schooling. So I ended up working for Koch Industries out of school. I did a couple months for them as I was finishing up in a co-op position. And then I started as a finance analyst for them as soon as I graduated. So I did that for about 2 years. And really the last few months of being there, I was just realizing it wasn't a very fulfilling career path for me to be in. And I felt called back to aesthetics because, I really enjoy this environment and mostly helping others feel good and comfortable, confident in their skin. It's just a much better environment for me to be in as well and, have those relationships with people one-on-one. I had a really hard time sitting at my desk all day, every day.
Looking at spreadsheets?
Yeah, just looking at spreadsheets all day. And so decided I needed to get away from that and go back to something that was more fulfilling for me.
Had you worked in a spa before?
I did. When I was in school, I actually worked in a couple of different locations. So my first aesthetic experience was different than most people's as well because it was in a chiropractic office. And so it was new for them to start out doing as well. So I got really good experience pretty early on while I was doing my school at K-State, where I was able to get them or help them get it started with setting up the services, picking out product and equipment, and even having the state board come in and do an inspection there. So I had a little bit of experience with setting up a space. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was really good. So I had that, which I did for a little bit. And then I worked in kind of more of a day spa setting as well, which was really good. It just ended up being too much for me to do that and my finance at K-State. So I stepped away from it while I finished up my schooling. But yeah.
That is so interesting. So now you're back, and tell us about how you got here. And I would love to hear how you've applied what you learned with your degree and your finance experience to opening this business.
Yeah, so really kind of like I mentioned, just those last few months of being in my previous role, and I was really dreading going in every day and just knowing that I wasn't going to be in a great space and going home at the end of that day, like pretty unhappy with what I was doing. And so I thought about going to other companies and continuing to do accounting and finance for them. But the more that I sat with it and prayed on it, I just realized I think regardless, maybe accounting and finance is not where I'm meant to be. So, I mean, I debated, going somewhere else, looking for something else with Koch, but just really felt called back to doing aesthetics.
This is where your heart is.
Yes, definitely where my heart is. And so I think I might be a little bit crazy also for just going and renting a studio because I haven't been working as an esthetician or anything part-time. So it's been a little bit scary for me jumping into this and starting from scratch, basically. So maybe a little bit crazy. And I think I go back and forth, like, should I have gone to work for somebody else for a little bit and built some more clients up and done it that way? But I really wanted to kind of have the control and ownership of the services I was providing, the products I was using, and being able to have kind of my own initiative and philosophy with clients that way.
There is a lot to be said for that. And a lot of businesses start at ground zero and do very well. You'll get there. I know you will.
Fingers crossed.
What's the hardest part for you? Are you good at marketing? Do you enjoy marketing? Or what do you find the biggest challenges in getting started?
That's a good one. I'd say just overall finding new clients and maybe not realizing just how many aesthetics places there were in Wichita. So maybe jumping the gun on that and having some nerves there. But I heard something really good on Pam's podcast about there should be no other competition because no one's doing exactly what you do. So I listened to that recently and I really liked that, what she said. So I'm trying to keep that in the back of my mind as well.
I love that. That's true. And I was thinking as you were saying that, what is it that you believe sets you apart from everyone else? What would draw clients to you rather than someone else?
I mean, my really big goal is making sure that clients feel accommodated in whatever their goals are, because whether it's, I kind of look at it like, are you here more for results or relaxation? And hopefully it's both at the end of the day, because I love both of those, but kind of just knowing what your client wants and spending time doing that consultation so that like, okay, I have a lot of issues with aging or acne and I need to be coming back every 4 to 6 weeks for my treatment. Or maybe I'm just here once every few months to relax, and then it's okay, I can spend more time doing massage and not walking you through your appointment quite as much. Like, for example, I had a girl in on Friday and I could kind of tell she was just wanting to relax and she had taken the day off. And so a lot of the times I'll walk my clients through what I'm doing and the benefits of everything and making sure I'm able to educate them, because I'm very passionate about educating as well as just providing the relaxation. But she was kind of, I don't really care. I just want to relax. And so that's kind of my cue to we'll just have more of a silent appointment and just work some more massage into it.
I love that. I think those cues are often missed. And I've experienced that as a client in different things, where that exact same thing. I just want to be here to relax. I don't want to know everything you're doing. I'm not interested. Or other times when you do want to know. I had an experience with physical therapy recently, and I didn't feel like they were telling me enough, and I wanted to know everything. Like, why are we doing this? And I couldn't get it out of them. And so it was really frustrating. So the fact that you focus on that, on really tuning into what they are there for and what you can provide for them, I think that definitely sets you apart. I think that's a big gift.
Thank you.
That you have.
Yeah.
Yes. So this huge transition you've made is still fresh. You've only been here for 2 months?
month.
A month,
Yeah,
okay.
just a month.
So what all did you have to do to get from being a financial analyst at Koch to opening your business here? I'm sure there were so many things that you had to set up because you ultimately opened a business from the ground up. So tell us about everything you've done.
Yeah, for sure. So I actually only left my job at Koch a few weeks ago and have been doing this for around the same time, about a month. And so it's still pretty fresh and new, getting some things figured out. But really initially, when I decided I did want to make the jump over back into aesthetics, it was kind of spending time looking at what jobs are available in Wichita right now. And there was one that I thought would be good. And I interviewed with them, but it was a pretty low commission percentage. And, it's kind of one of those things where maybe starting out it would have been okay to do for a little bit before transitioning. But I really had in the back of my head, like, well, if I'm really going to feel like I'm not going to be making a lot of money there, I would rather feel like I'm not making a lot of money to start out with and build my own business.
I think that's smart. Put the investment in yourself, in your own business.
Yeah. So that was really the first thing I had to decide. And then as far as finding somewhere to lease, I feel like that part was actually really easy. You made it very easy.
Thank you.
Yes. I looked at Sola just a little bit. I was like, oh. And then I looked at Utopia online and applied, and you were very quick to respond and reach out. And I feel like that's almost difficult to find now as someone who is very good at being responsive and wants to help you and answer your questions. And so you being that way very quickly pulled me to Utopia just as quickly.
Thank you.
Yeah, it was a great experience, and you made it very easy. And we looked at a couple of locations and it ended up deciding that this one was going to be the better decision for me personally. So
I think you made the right decision.
Yes.
I think you fit very well here.
Thank you. I do too. And it's really nice that I'm next to some other estheticians and it's quiet. And so I think I made the right choice as
And
well.
your space is absolutely beautiful. I know we are in the space, but you can't see everything. But the walls are green, very comforting, very relaxing. All of your decor is very tasteful, and it speaks to your brand very, very well.
Thank you. Yeah. I just leaned into the green. I think it's been my favorite color the last few years. I think it's kind of been one of those trendy colors, but yeah, like you said, I just think it's very calming and relaxing. And so it was pretty quickly that I was able to get everything set up to during my transition. And so kind of a couple of other things that I had to think about and do were the paint color, all of my decorations, and then coming in and getting that done, hanging up shelves, all of the pictures. Spent a lot of time in home goods for sure. But I liked everything that I picked out and had my dad and boyfriend help me get everything hung up, and my candles are really pretty. And so, yes, all the decor I
smells
really
good.
love.
That's something else our viewers or listeners can't experience, but it smells good in here. It's all good.
Good.
You had to then find things to put on your shelves and figure out a booking system and get your space licensed. What were all the technical things that you had to do that your clients don't see?
I think the biggest technical piece that people may not think about as quickly is setting up an LLC. And I don't think all estheticians do that. I just decided it would be a good way to kind of add just an extra layer of protection for myself, as well as the brand that I ended up deciding to go with is Image Skincare. And I used them at the day spa I worked at while I was in school, and I really loved all of their products and fell in love with it then. And I've used it the past several years since first finding out about it working there. And so it was really not too much of a decision as far as products.
Nice.
So that it was easy, but they have the option to do a business account, which gets you more benefits than just a regular professional account. So it ended up working out really well that I had that LLC already set up and got a little bit more of a discount there.
Good.
Yeah.
Then you had to figure out your booking system, your credit card processing. How did all that go?
So I talked to a couple of people, and it really led me to Gloss Genius. And I did a trial with them as well, where I had a couple of weeks to get everything set up. And for my services, I already had kind of a good idea of what I wanted to do for services. I lean mostly towards facials. They're my favorite, and I'll do some waxing as well, but I'm definitely more heavy on facials. I'd say my favorite service to do is probably Dermaplane.
Good to know.
Yes. So yeah, as far as my service menu, I kind of already had a good idea of everything that I enjoy and advocate on. So that part was actually really enjoyable for me to put together.
What do you love about the Dermaplane? Why is it your favorite?
There are several reasons, but the first one that always comes to mind is just how oddly satisfying it is to see all of the like dermaplane dust, which is all your dead skin and peach fuzz that you're removing. And so you are using a medical grade scalpel to remove that top layer of all your dead, dry skin cells and peach fuzz. And so it helps remove that, and it makes your skin look a lot more radiant, smooth. The texture gets improved a lot, and it's really nice when you put makeup on. I would give it at least 24 hours after you get a dermaplane just because you have that fresh skin. But I always find that your makeup goes on so much more smoothly, and it just looks so good, as well as your products absorbing better into your skin. So yeah. My favorite.
So you love the satisfaction and the results.
Yes.
That's good.
Exactly.
That's a lot to love about it.
Yeah, for sure.
We've established that your favorite service is dermaplaning, and I get it. I love a good dermaplane as well. The results and the satisfaction of seeing the dirty cotton. Who is your favorite? Who is your ideal client? Who do you serve the best? Who do you love to come in, take care of, and you feel really good about the results you're sending that person out with?
That's a great question. It's easy to lean towards my dermaplaning and chemical peel clients. I would say even outside of services, though, I really enjoy my clients that come in around every 4 to 6 weeks, just because we can build that relationship, and really someone who is looking for results, whether it's aging, acne, inflammation they may have, really being able to spend consistent time with them, and someone who has the drive to want to make those changes for themselves when it comes to the commitment of coming in once a month. And a lot of the times it's switching your home care products as well. So someone who's really driven to make those changes in their skin and open to suggestions and feedback and the commitment it takes to make those changes, because as much as we would all love one facial to fix everyone's problems, it's just not the reality. And as much as I love, the clients that come in for that relaxation and give them that experience and time to just unwind, I find that a lot of the meaningful relationships are with people who are here because they want to be here. I want them to be here. We can spend that time together figuring out what's best for them and tailoring their services and products.
And don't you love enjoying the results with them? When they see progress, you get to celebrate that with them, and
Yeah.
you've been a part of it.
Yeah.
I can see why that's really gratifying.
Yeah, definitely accomplishing feeling. And, that's why I'm doing this, is to help women, make those changes and just give them the confidence and feeling good in their skin as well.
I love that.
Yeah.
So you've told us about your favorite service being a dermaplane and about the product line that you love that you carry. Let's back up the lens a little bit and tell us about all the services you provide and what you have to offer your clients.
Sure. Yeah. So I kind of mentioned I really prefer doing facials. That's really where I feel the most passionate and where I can pour into my clients the most. So dermaplane, I know I talked about a little bit. I also do LED light therapy. There are several benefits with that. So there's red light, blue light, and yellow light are the three most popular types of lights to use for LED therapy. So those are going to have different benefits, but really you're going to have stimulated collagen, which helps with anti-aging, and your elastin in your skin, so kind of helps with any dragging and wrinkles, as well as the blue light is going to be really good for acne and killing any bacteria you have there and just overall inflammation that you might have in your skin. And I've been looking into buying, it's called Celluma is the brand, and it's supposed to be more of a medical grade device. So I think I'm going to go with that option. So I'm really excited about that and improving, just getting a better product to use there. And then chemical peels are another popular one. So those are a pretty broad range of the intensity that you can use from lower to higher. And I would always recommend clients to start on the lower side with those, and we can kind of work them up to a more strong peel when their skin is ready for that. That one is great for really all different types of clients, whether it's acne, aging, because it's helping to remove that dead skin. And there are so many different types of acids in the different peels for different needs. So there's acne, aging, inflammation, pigmentation is another really big one that we like to focus on with peels and helping lighten your skin. So peels are another really good one for everybody, just because you can really tailor them to the client's specific needs as well. And they're a really popular service right now as well, just because they're so effective. And then I do waxing, so facial waxing. And then I am going to offer body waxing as well. I just need to get a couple more things for supplies wise, like some paper for my table, but I'll be adding that as well as some lashes. I don't know that I want to do extensions. I am kind of on the fence about that. I am going to do tinting for both lashes and brows, and then I just bought some stuff to do lash lifts as well.
Oh, yeah.
But I didn't love doing lash extensions in school. I do not have the most patience, and I joke about having sausage fingers. So I was like, it's just not my favorite. Maybe one day I'll get back into it, but it's just not what I'm really passionate about right now. So I don't think that's something I'm going to offer, at least for a little bit, until I get more comfortable. But yeah.
So this might be a dumb question, and it exposes that I'm inexperienced in facials. But are the LED light therapy and the dermaplaning and even the waxing, are those sometimes a part of a facial service, or are those all independent services?
Both.
Okay.
It's kind of up to the client. So like with the LED therapy, that would be something where there are a couple ways you can go about it with kind of doing the facial around the LED therapy. So maybe you do it for a longer time. You're still doing your cleanse and exfoliating and your little bit of massage and all of your ending products, but that's kind of the highlight of your facial right there. Whereas you could also go about adding it as an add-on service. So maybe you only do it for 10 or 15 minutes as part of a chemical peel facial or a dermaplane. So you can definitely mix them together like that.
Okay.
Yeah. Same with the waxing. I'd say people typically come in just for waxing or a facial instead of both, but you could do both at the same time if you wanted to.
Good.
Yeah.
So in the world of aesthetics, there are so many services that you can offer. How did you narrow it down to choosing these services to put on your service menu?
I chose the services that I felt the most confident in results-wise, as well as my own performance. Specifically with the dermaplaning peels and LED, those are all 3 services that I've done still consistently over the years, even being outside of a practicing esthetician. So those are 3 that are always, top of my list as far as results and just my comfortability, as well as I know that they are popular services in the industry right now. So those 3 were really no-brainers, as well as the waxing for that reason. It's something that I can do a good job of and offer to clients confidently. And so that was also kind of an easy decision. The body treatment that I offer as well is just really good because it's so relaxing, and it's ideal for those clients who just want to come in and relax. So with the body treatment, I'm doing a full body exfoliation, massage, and then moisturizing. And so I wanted to make sure I had something that was tailored to a relaxing service as well, which is where my customized image facial came in too. That one is very good about being both results and relaxation driven, because it's not necessarily doing something that's super aggressive like a peel, or even with a dermaplane having a little bit of downtime there. There's no downtime with the customized facial, and it gives me time to really understand their skin and what they're looking for. So that's another one that's good for anybody, especially just first-time clients that come in, to have a service where we can both understand what we're looking for.
Do you offer consultations for someone who doesn't know what they need? They have an idea of the results they desire, but they don't know what to pick on your menu?
Definitely. Yes. So that is good. And I find that a lot of the time that happens naturally before a service as well, even if it's not a
standalone.
A standalone, yeah, thank you. Not a standalone appointment. So that always happens naturally. And I want to make sure I do that even with clients who are regular, just to make sure that nothing has changed with them. There's no medication changes or allergies that have come up. So definitely like spending time with the clients to make sure we're on the same page with everything. Yeah.
That builds trust.
For sure.
So as we wrap up, I want to know what advice you would give to someone who is in a situation like you were. They're in a corporate job, their heart is in the beauty industry, and they're thinking about being brave or crazy as you are, and switching careers to get into something that they love and feel passionate about. What would your advice to that person be?
To do it, for sure.
Really?
Yeah. I had a hard time for many months before I finally made the jump to leave, and was sitting in a lot of unhappiness and kind of just yearning to go back to something I knew that I loved and enjoyed. And so I wish it hadn't taken me quite as long as it did, but I'm so thankful that I did make that decision, even though I do feel just a little bit crazy, like we've talked about, just making the big jump like this. But it's a different type of stress that I have now, and a lot of the time it doesn't even feel like stress because it's something that I'm so passionate about and love. So yeah, I'm very thankful that I made the change.
You've traded the dissatisfaction of a day at work and a job that you're doing for the stress of starting and being at ground zero. But you'll get there.
Yes.
It will pay off. Whereas I guess maybe staying in the corporate position would have just prolonged your day-to-day disappointment.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, good for you. I'm proud of you for making that leap. I hope you've inspired other people to do so.
I do too. It's been really exciting for me. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for doing this with me. It's been so fun for me to hear the details of your journey. Of course, I knew a little bit about it, but I know a lot more about your journey and about you and the services you provide now, which I find very valuable.
Yeah.
If someone's looking to get a hold of you, how would you like them to get in touch with you?
Yeah, so you can find my Instagram. It's Serenity Skin Studio. You could probably find it through Utopia, or if you go on my Instagram or Facebook, Serenity Skin Studio, you can reach out to me either on those platforms or send me a text or email. That information is on there as well. So thank you for having me.
You're welcome. And it is easy to find you on our website. If that's easier, to go to Utopia and the Cranbrook location, and then you'll find Savannah.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you so much for listening today. If you haven't already, be sure that you are subscribed on your favorite podcast platform so you don't miss a future episode. And if you would be so kind as to leave us a review on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, that would be incredibly helpful. It's one of the best ways to support your favorite shows. If you've already done so, thank you so much. Be sure to share this episode with a beauty professional who will be inspired by our conversation.
This show is part of the ICT Podcast Network. For more information, visit ictpod.net.